Remember that handsome club owner with the Jerry curl that was giving Dre a hard time for playing the music? That was me, and he played me in real life. I'm the guy that brought everybody from Compton to the rest of the world. This is my presentation. First of all, I'm an entrepreneur. My last job was 1979. Most of y'all wasn't born yet. I worked in a record company. I was told by a friend of mine, do what you love for a living, and you'll never work hard a day in your life. Remember that. Do what you love for a living, and you'll never work hard a day in your life. I love DJing. I love playing records. I love entertaining people. It started for me back in high school. They asked me pre-Jerry curl. I was in ROTC. I saluted. I was started off in the color guard. Then by the 11th grade, I became the battalion commander. Second highest ranking kid in Southern California. But it taught me leadership. It taught me how to deal with people. And we had a lot of fun back then. I became a DJ in 1976, fresh out of high school. That's me having a good time because I enjoy what I do. Like I said, I love what I do, and I do it every day. I still do it today. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. By the time I was 22 years old, I got tired of carrying records. I got tired of being up all night, huffing records back and forth in and out of my van. So I was able to get a nightclub at 22 years old. I had my own teen nightclub called Eve After Dark. Eve After Dark was right between Compton, LA, Watts, and Gardena. Not the best place in the world to open a club up, but we made it work. And that club right there changed hip-hop history forever. At one point in time, things started to change. Hip-hop came around, and I wanted to do something different. I'm always looking to do something different. One of my sayings is, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just put some rims on it. I was already in the entertainment business. I was already a DJ. Hip-hop was coming around and starting to take root, and we needed somebody for the West Coast, so I formed my record company. I took my DJs. These guys right here are my DJs. That's me in the front, Clientele, DJ Yella, and Dr. Dre. This picture was taken back in about 84, 85. Remember in Straight Outta Compton, the movie, they had the purple marching jackets that Easy always teased us about? You guys look like you're going to the marching band. Well, Dre, that's not true. Dre loved that jacket. That jacket can get you in any nightclub. It can get you free food. It even kept him getting jumped on one time. I'll tell you that story a little later on. We have time. My first record was called Slice. I didn't have any investors. I never had any investors. I was very fortunate. My club was very successful at an early age. Probably too successful for my own good. At 22 years old, I had a safe with $100,000 cash in it. Didn't know what to do with it. Had no idea. I knew I couldn't leave because my girlfriend's brother was a burglar. And I wasn't going nowhere. He was not going to get my fortune. We did our first album called World Class, named after our group. And again, that's me, Black, DJ Clientele, DJ Yella with the lace glove on, and Dr. Dre, looking a little suspect. He hates that picture right there. He can't stand that picture. Because if you see this picture up close, he has on makeup. And it's real hard to be a tough guy wearing makeup. Eazy-E once licensed that picture from me, a picture like that, and from that same photo shoot, for like $2,000 when he was mad at Dre. When they did the Compton City G's, he paid me 2 racks to just license that picture. We'll tell you about that in a little while also. Before our album hit the stores good, CBS Records came and offered us a record deal. Gave us $100,000 for a record deal, our first record deal. The problem was with CBS for us, we weren't your typical rap group. We weren't the kind of guys that stood around there and grabbed our Johnsons and talked crazy. We had steps. We were like the Temptations. We were like Boys to Men. We had a show. They didn't know how to market us, so we didn't stay on the label that long. But again, there's Lonzo, Clientele at left, Shakespeare, and DJ Yella in what could be something out of Prince's closet. But that was a different time. And Dr. Dre in his famous red suit. Now, crazy part about it is, I still got his red suit. When you see it on eBay, bid on it for me, will you please? When opportunity knocks, open the door. Opportunity comes all the time, but if you don't answer the door, you can't take advantage of the opportunity. At one point in time, the record distributor that we were once signed to, Macola Records, got taken over by the mob, for real. Sopranos took over the record industry. We all left. That's another story in my book, okay? Oh yeah, I've been involved in some deep stuff. So we decided to open our own company. You see here a guy by the name of Rudy Pardee. I don't know how this thing works. There you go, Rudy Pardee, Egyptian Lover, myself, unknown DJ, and there's not a picture. I have one picture with this brother. We've been friends for 40 years. He never shows his face. Wow. He is definitely the unknown DJ. If you guys, anybody here are techno fans, this guy has made a lot of records in the techno industry, unknown DJ, Professor X, and a few other artists. But we formed our own record distributor. Record distribution was a lot different than it is back then than it is now. The first year, we grossed $1 million. $1 million. You ever heard the song called Supersonic by J.J. Fad? We were the first one to distribute that record. We later sold it to Ruthless Records. It became the first platinum record on Ruthless Records. Today, I do whatever I want. I left the club business. I DJ concerts. I have a podcast. I speak at colleges like I am today. I'm a prostate cancer survivor, so I'm also an advocate for prostate cancer. Y'all don't have to worry about that right now, but I'll see y'all in about 15 years, okay? And this is my nonprofit, the Lyrical Revolution. The Lyrical Revolution is a nonprofit that I founded about 10 years ago, but I didn't take it serious until the last 5 years because I realized that hip-hop has no real leadership. Hip-hop has no real leadership. When I first got into the game, all the leaders of that were considered leaders were in R&B. Disco had just fell off, and they thought hip-hop was going to be like disco. It ain't going to last no time. It's going to be just like disco, be here 2 years, be hot for a while. That was 44 years ago. So hip-hop is still here. My first name was Disco Alonzo. That's how serious I was about this disco thing. This is my book, straight out without Alonzo. NWA, not without Alonzo. They saw this, they got mad. They forgot they gave it to me. They forgot they told me this a long time ago. They had an interview one time. Somebody says, what does NWA stand for? And they said N-words without Alonzo. They're trying to get back at me. So I just took it and put it out without Alonzo and selling a book behind it. So yes, it's a different time, different era, but it's the same thing. Entrepreneurship is about creativity. It's about doing what you love if you can. Everybody can't do what they love. Most of you can, though. And it's about not being afraid to take charge of your own life. If I was scared, I wouldn't have done anything I was supposed to do. Because I never wanted to be a nightclub owner. That was not my intention. My intention was to be a park DJ. That's all I wanted to be. At 14 years old, they used to have dances every Friday or Saturday night at the local park. And I went to the park one night, and the park, the little rec room was packed. And the DJ from the radio station had everybody doing saying all these different words, they throwing their hands in the air and having a good time. I thought that was the best thing in the world to do. But because he was from a radio station, I thought you had to go to a radio station to work for a station to come work at the park. I got lucky, 12th grade, Gardena High School. I got a scholarship to go to broadcast school. But I had one problem. I had what they call a tied tongue. I couldn't speak worth a darn. But I wanted to do this so bad, I took speech classes. And if you upset me right now, the tied tongueness will come back. Okay? But I wanted it. So if you want it, you got to go take it. Nobody's going to give it to you. They don't pass out opportunities just like they pass out flyers to a party. That's not how it's done. So that's just what I do. I never thought I'd write a book. I'm not an avid reader. I read manuals. I read things from time to time. Whoever thought that Alonzo would write a book? But at some point in time, people kept telling me, hey man, you ought to write a book, you ought to write a book, you ought to write a book. And I did. Best thing I ever did. Best thing I ever did. Now I do a podcast because I like talking more than I like writing. And that's the story. That's why I'm the godfather of West Coast hip hop. Anybody have any questions? Don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Yes, dear.
So where's your podcast located? Is it here in California or do you go?
You know what? Remember that club you saw, the studio you saw, Eazy-E and Straight Outta Compton? And you saw Eazy-E, he couldn't rap a gift. And they ran everybody out of the studio. That studio was in my house. I still own that house today. I'm a pretty consistent kind of guy. So I took that studio, I broke it up into 3 sections. One section is for recording music, another is for video, another for podcasts. And I do my podcast out of my house to answer your question. So consistency is everything. Yes?
How did you actually get started with your podcast? Because I heard of
You know, I've done 100, maybe 200 podcasts, and I realized at some point in time, there's some money in podcasting. I didn't realize that. I took a class. Somebody said, hey, man, we're having a class over here at this building on 2 Wednesday nights. You want to come by and take a social media class? Yeah. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. But I didn't understand why I kept seeing these little ads all the time.
Right.
And I couldn't understand why I had to wait for 5 seconds to see something, click it. And I didn't understand how it was going. So I took the class. And I realized every time that ad runs, whether you watch it or not, somebody's getting paid.
Right.
Then the instructor showed us how you get paid. And I said, whoa, that's not too bad. So it inspired me to start a podcast. I've done so many. My biggest podcast with the most impressions was on Vlad TV. I did a Vlad TV, got almost 1 million hits just talking about Dr. Dre. So if I could get 1 million for Vlad, I could probably get a few 100,000 for Alonzo. So that's my motivation. That's why I do it, and it's not that expensive. The biggest problem with podcasting is posting in the time it takes to get all these social media accounts. But there's other ways of doing that also. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Actually, I wanted to ask some questions about your 501c3.
Yes.
So what's your mission statement?
My mission statement is to redirect new artists to a different type of hip hop that doesn't promote suicide, homicide, or genocide. People don't understand, most people don't understand the power of music. I have a presentation about the power of music. Music is probably one of the most powerful art forms you'll ever be involved in. Unlike a movie, unlike television, unlike art or a picture, or even a statue, you may see them once or twice in your life. But a song, you're going to hear redundantly over and over and over again, and you'll get what I call a brain stain. There's a psychological name for it, but I call it a brain stain. When you sing a song you can't stand. You can't stand that song. In commercials, meow, 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 meow. You found yourself singing that stupid commercial, but because you heard it so much. And the same thing with music. You'll see music, you hear it on the radio. You'll look up, and if it's Kendrick Lamar or what's the little guy, Bruno Mars, before it hits the radio, it's in a commercial. And you'll hear different versions of it in a commercial because a lot of times what they'll do, because to license the actual song, the price is so high, they'll reproduce it. And then they'll reproduce it. You'll still have the same familiarity, but you won't have the Bruno Mars version. And because you don't have the Bruno Mars version, they save a lot of money on licensing fees. So yes, you have a song that is being played over and over again. You'll see them in movies. See, one thing about music, unlike any other art form, it sets the soundtrack for an event, a day, or whatever the case may be. You can get married or have a birthday party, and you know those songs for your birthday party when you was 12, 13 years old. When you get married, I want this song, all the women, I want this song played at my wedding. And you know you have certain songs. Okay? As a DJ, I've played At Last by Etta James, at least 1,000 songs. That's always a song they want to come out on. There's new songs now, but for the most part, for a long time, that was the song. When you want to make people feel good, I put on Frankie Beverly and Mays before I let go. Anybody's going to start feeling good. If you want people to feel good today, you put on Happy by Pharrell. How many people go to church? All right. You go to a funeral, what's the music sound like? All somber, all depressing. Well, when it comes on Sunday, the same church, same preacher, when it's time to lift the offering, they start clapping. They start clapping. They want you to, hey, feel good, here your money go. So you have to understand the power of music, and once you understand the power of music, you understand as an artist, you have control, you have like a lot of control over people's actions. As a club owner and a DJ, understand me, I've owned 6 nightclubs. I was the chief DJ at all my nightclubs except for Dudos. I learned at one point in time, you can't play gangster rap past 1 o'clock. If you play gangster rap past 1 o'clock, it's going to be a fight in the parking lot. It's going to be a fight in the parking lot. I don't care what you do. If you play gangster rap, it's 2 elements you're dealing with now. You're dealing with the intensity of gangster rap, because gangster rap is very aggressive. And at 1:15 is last call. Okay? And everybody's trying to get that last shot of whatever they drink before they hit the parking lot. They get their last 15 minutes of partying in, and they feeling pretty good, and they all pumped up, and somebody steps on somebody's shoe. Next thing you know, you call the police. Okay? Ask me how I know. All right? So I learned at a certain time, you cut the liquor off, you cut the gangster rap off, and you can go home without having to call the police. These are things you have to learn over experience. Any other questions? Yes?
Well, where do you want Ice Cube this NWA?
What's my relationship with NWA?
No, I said, where do you want Ice Cube this NWA?
Where was I? Laughing. At home laughing. I was having a ball. When Ice Cube dissed NWA, and there's two parts to that question. I thought it was one of the greatest diss records of all time, first of all. He was very clever with everything he said. But that same record, I use it as an example to show you how people are willing to catch a case to support an artist. One night at one of my clubs, I was playing No Vaseline by Ice Cube. People were partying. It's a great dance record. It was made from a great dance record. And a guy walked over to me while I'm DJing and tells me, hey man, he's a hood brother. Hey man, take it off right now. I got my headphones on. I'm like, what? Say what? And I take it off right now. Woo, woo, woo. I'm like, what you talking about? So finally, I took the headphones. Can I help you, bro? He says, take that off, man. He dissing my people. What people are you talking about? He was supposed to be friends with Dre, and Cube is dissing Dre, and he's upset with me for playing Cube's record. The level of ignorance is surprising, but it's real. And I'm like, huh? And I kept talking to him the whole time while the record is playing, trying to get him to understand what's going on. I'm not going to stop and pull this record off for you. And when it finally went off, I took it off. Oh, right, good, because they're my people, and I don't appreciate that. And I'm like, wow, he was really upset with me for playing the record. So once you understand the power of music, because when NWA split up, you had 2 facets. You actually had 3 facets. You had the Eazy-E facet, you had the Drake facet, and the Cube facet. Okay? Each one of those camps had their loyal followers. And where I came from, it could be a problem if you supported the wrong person at the wrong time. This is the craziest thing in the world. These guys don't know you. They don't care if you exist, but you're prepared to go to war because he dissed you. Yes, somebody else had a question? Yes.
Did the government kill Eazy-E?
I would never say that on tape. I would never say that on tape. Ain't no way in the world I'm answering that question right now. I got a microphone on. But you know, it was very suspicious. I'm going to tell you, it was very suspicious. It was very suspicious that nobody in his immediate area had AIDS but him. You have to understand, I knew Easy. Easy was at my house about a month before he died. He was healthy as anybody in this room. When I've talked to people who were there up close and personal with his bodyguards, and when they said they were so confused because Easy went to the hospital, say for time's sake, he went to the hospital on a Sunday. He called him Tuesday. Hey man, let's hang out for a while. He said, I found out I got a disease, and let's play cards. I can beat it. It's early enough. Same guy said he went back 3-4 days later. He's under an oxygen tank on life support. The guy said he brought a deck of cards. They played blackjack all the time. And he's like, next thing you know, there's a preacher and a lawyer. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And he gets married on his deathbed. They didn't show you that straight out of Compton. He got married on his deathbed. Yeah. He didn't get, they don't show you certain things. They don't show you straight out of Compton. Easy was not as broke as they claim he was straight out of Compton. He was not bagging up weed trying to pay his house note. That's not going to happen. His house note was probably about 5 or 6 G's. He wasn't bagging up weed to pay his house note.
So he wasn't married to that lady until after?
Not until he got to the hospital. He went in single, came out married. Married and dead. Anyway. Anybody else? Yes.
Well, I have a question because I've listened since the beginning of rap, and I've noticed that, we've seen, I don't know, it's been about 10, 15 years that went from West Coast rap, and then all of a sudden the Southern rap kind of like took over, it seemed like. And I kind of wonder how did that happen? Because we had such an influence here, and it just seemed to kind of shift.
The shift in music marketing comes from a few different places. One, it's the natural progression. At one point in time, before hip hop was popular, Ohio was where everybody came from. New York is the center of all record companies. At some point in time, California came into light. New York started hip hop. It jumped all the way over, came to the West Coast, and then it kind of went backwards from there. St. Louis had its run with Nelly. When Master P came out with his song, Mr. Ice Cream Man, which is basically my song, Turn Off the Lights. If you listen to it again, it's my sample in there. I own the publishing and half the rights for that song, and it was his first hit song. And every time you do something good, you inspire somebody else to do something. Every time you do something, especially if you do it good, you make it look easy. Right. How many people want to play basketball because they watch Michael Jordan fly through the sky? You can't fly, but you're going to try. I tell you what, if you can't fly, you'll buy his shoes and hope you learn how to fly. Okay? Same thing with me. I didn't play golf till Tiger Woods started playing. I had no interest in golf whatsoever till Tiger Woods started playing. Okay? I'm not a football player. Football hurt. So once you start doing something, and at the risk of sounding crazy, a little egotistical, I made it look easy back in the day. But what they didn't understand is my last job was at a record company, so I sold records over the phone to all the record stores. So I had a list of all the record stores. But my voice is very recognizable. People knew me from my voice before they knew my face. So I walked in to sell my records. I started talking, oh, you got the guy from Record Shack? Yeah. So I created an underground network between all the independent record stores and the swap meets. So if anybody wanted to be in the record business from Compton, they had to come to Alonzo. Because I was a club promoter, I had a relationship with the radio station K-Day. So when I went from buying advertising from my club to actually making records to get them played, I had those relationships, and they gave me an opportunity, and because I was spending money already. So when you have that kind of situation going on, it just makes it that much better, easier to work with. It's all about relationships. It's all about connections, about who you know and who knows you. Okay? In here right now, do we have any artists in here? Don't be ashamed to be an artist. If you're an artist, you cannot be bashful. The artist, we have anybody want to be in law. So you're going to manage yourself and sue everybody too, right? We got any lawyers? Anyone want to be lawyers? Any law? Business people? Okay. Graphic designers? This is your team right here. Your team starts right here. All y'all are hungry. All y'all looking to get started in something. You want hungry people around you. Not broke people, not starving people, but hungry people. You don't want starving people. Okay, but you want hungry people, somebody that can motivate you, somebody that has the same motivation that you have. And once you start doing what you do, you'll be surprised who's willing to volunteer to help you. You got to be in motion first. You can't talk about what you want to do. Nobody can see your dreams but you. When you close your eyes at night and you have dreams of driving this whatever or living wherever, nobody can see that but you. So in order for people to see your dreams, you have to put your dreams into motion and let people see what you're capable of doing. And if they say, you know what, that's a good idea, let's try this right. Perfect example. I got to give somebody a shout out right quick. Judy Fox. I love doing PowerPoint presentations, but I'm basic. Grab a picture, put some words on it, grab a picture, next. Judy added all the color to this right here. She saw what I was capable of doing, but she took her skills and added it to it, made it blow up. So once you show people what you're capable of doing, oh man, that's good, but check this out. Oh, okay. So now you got a team. All right. Next, anybody got more questions? Yes, Judy. Okay.
I noticed there's a nice age range of people here, and being an entrepreneur is a risk.
Yes.
But you were young and had parents once upon a time, so a lot of times too, parents have their influence on what they want you to do. So can you kind of talk about your experience of when you were starting to emerge as an entrepreneur?
Let me take a drink right quick. Well, yes, like everybody else, I had two parents. One of them died when I was 19. My mother died when I was 19. Whew. When I was in high school, my girlfriend was pregnant. Now, talking about pressure. I'm in Gardena High School, new school, I went to Centennial first in Compton, go to a new school in Gardena. First week of school, guess what? I'm pregnant. Oh, Lord have mercy. By the time I hit graduation time, one semester before graduation, I get called to the counselor's office. Mr. Williams, we realized you failed typing in the 10th grade, so you're short 5 credits. God, dog. Now, I'm also the oldest in my family, so I'm the first one to graduate of the kids. Everybody's talking about me graduating. But I'm also got the other subject about got a girl pregnant. My daddy's like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? My daddy's he was a no nonsense guy. What you gonna do? Now, here's the problem for me. I got through I made it to class, got the extra credits, so I'm graduating. My birthday is in June. My daughter, between going to practice for walking, I have to leave and go take her mom to the doctor. The day before I graduated, she was born. I turned 18 5 days later. Talking about a brother stressed out. My dad worked for Caltrans on the freeways. Get you a good job working for Caltrans. You take care of your baby. You can live in your mama's house. And I'm like, that's cool, but that ain't what I really want to do. But because my dad was my number one influence, I had to go and try to work for Caltrans. I did the job. I worked for Caltrans during the summertime, right here on the 605, in fact. On the 605. And in the morning, the traffic is rough on the 605. I had to put out sprinklers And when the trucks pass you by, you put the sprinklers out as it goes around, it sucks the water on you, and you get drenched. Did that for a summer. I had some fun. I learned how to drive backhoes and dumpers, dump trucks, whatever the case may be. That was fun. But that ain't what I wanted to do, because I came home tired, dirty, all the time. Plus, I was trying to build my DJ business, and I couldn't be on the phone. There wasn't no cell phones back then. If I got a page, I couldn't answer the page till 7 o'clock that night. So eventually, I messed around and got a job at the record distributor. And I applied for the job at Caltrans at the same time. Well, a permanent job at Caltrans to appease my dad. Because you got a kid. You need a good government job, take care of your kid, and get your health, the benefits, the whole 9 yards. But I'm selling records for this record company. I get to be clean every day. I got air conditioning. I ain't got to be to work until 9 o'clock. I'm home at 5 o'clock. If I have a gig, they can call me at work. We can talk about it, because I'm talking about, they don't know what I'm talking about. They didn't check your phone like they do now. I'm on the phone. They didn't care. Time came around at one point in time. Well, the Caltrans job came about. Time to go to work. God, dog. I did not want the Caltrans job. I did not want it. But I had to go, because my dad had been talking about me going to Caltrans like I was going to his alma mater, his college or something. Like I just got drafted to his favorite college, play ball for his boys. What you gonna do? You gonna be on maintenance? You gonna be on landscaping? What you gonna do? I'm gonna be maintenance. So anyway, make a long story short, I drugged my behind down to Caltrans right there at the 605 and the 91. It's a yard right there, still there. And Friday morning, and on there this big, huge board with all these papers in it. This was not the digital age yet. Everything was still paper. And he had to grab a paper from each one of these slots, and I had to sign my name. They gave me my uniform, my helmet, had the white helmet, the orange shirt, the orange vest, the whole 9 yards. And I'm dreading going out there. I said, God, give me one sign. Give me one sign, and I'm out of here. And the last piece of paper he went to grab for, it was empty. It was the insurance paper. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, little money maker. That's what they call me, little money maker. You got to start Monday. No, I won't. I left. I said, thank you, that's all I needed. I left. I went back to my job at at the Record Shack. I said, is my job still available? He said, yeah, if you want it. I said, cool. I took it. Now, it's Friday. I got to tell my dad I didn't take the job at Caltrans. Woo! I didn't tell it till Sunday night. Yeah, it was really crazy. His buddies were coming by the house all the time. They was drinking and celebrating. Yeah, you gonna be over there with so and so? That's my buddy. I trained him. No, not really. they don't know yet. All his buddies left. I'm sitting in the house, just me and my dad. And I said, hey, he says, you better go home, man, because you got to go to work tomorrow. No, I don't. You gonna be late? No, I ain't. What you mean? I'm not taking that job. Ooh. Understand this, folks. I'm my dad's oldest son. He called me champ all his life. I was his #1 son. These are all the names. I was going to follow in his footsteps. And I jumped out of his shoes. I got called some names that night. I can't say in front of y'all, okay? It started with stupid, ignorant. I trained you all this right here, and you're going to do this right here. They're going to fire you in 6 months. And I told him, man, I got to do what I want to do. I don't want the job. And, I left his house feeling about that big. I left there crying. My old man never spanked me or nothing like that. Never. But he had a mental thing on me that was so cold that he didn't have to spank me. I was a decent kid. I left there, went to work that morning at the other job. And another thing happened that was really crazy. My buddy, who I got him the job, he was gone. They gave me his desk, his call sheet, his phone, everything. He calls me up, man, you got me fired. How did I get you fired? So my buddy mad at me. My buddy mad, my daddy mad, and I really ain't no salesperson, but I'm gonna figure this out. Make a long story short, like my daddy said, 6 months later they fired me. I was out of a job, okay? Now, understand why I was out of a job, though. Because I was building my DJ business. I'm DJing on the weekends. I'm getting 100, 150 a gig, sometimes 60 a gig, depending on what it was. But I was doing it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On a good weekend, I could make $450. My 5 days a week at the record company, I brought home $166. I don't need a calculator to figure out I need to be doing something else. So what I would do, I would go to the warehouse, pull my records, go to the payroll department, give them to the lady in the payroll department, and she would give me a check for what was left over. Sometimes it'd be $15, $16. And she, how can you live on $16? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So they thought I was stealing. Then they realized I wasn't stealing. I had another job. So when things got slow, guess who was the first person they laid off? Me. They told me, oh, Mr. Williams, we understand you have another outside business interest. I'm sorry, we got to let you go. Okay, okay, I'm gone. They gave me my check. Back then, they gave you, it held the check in the hole. Another check, vacation. I got about $500. Went to my dad's house. He still was mad at me, but he still had my back. And told him what happened. He gloated. I told you they was going to fire you. I told you they was going to fire you. But what he did, though, he also knew I was doing my thing with DJing. He loaned me some money to buy another turntable. And he took me to his friend. And that's how I got to Eve After Dark. He hooked me up with the guy, his buddy, who had just built a second floor to his nightclub below. He had a banquet hall on top of his nightclub, and that was where the Eve After Dark was found at. And he told me this, I'm going to tell you, like anybody, like he told me, I can get you in, but I can't keep you in. If you hook him up with something, it's not your job to keep him in. It's his job to stay there. If I introduce you to him, it's y'all have to make the relationship. It's not my job. I made the connection. Okay? So my dad made the connection. They hovered over me for about 4 or 5 months till I had a good idea what I was doing. They let me go. And I just left the club in March of this year after 40 years. 39 years and 9 months. In fact, if I had stayed to the whole 40 years, it would have been June 22nd, not 2019, it would have been exactly 40 years and I opened the club up. Wow. So relationships. Not texting, not text relationships, not Facebook friends, not Instagram friends, eye-to-eye contact, somebody know what you're going to do. My buddy said something yesterday that rang out with me. He said, everybody wants to be real. Everybody wants to be real. But you have to realize this. Realize everyone ain't loyal. Realize everyone ain't loyal. Okay? That's just some real talk from the streets of Compton. Okay? And once you understand that, you always keep a little something to yourself. All right? How are we looking on time? Oh, we got plenty of time. We got some more questions. Yes?
Hi, my name is Rosita, and my question is, I think people say a lot, you need to network. How do you get started with networking? How do you go about establishing those relationships?
You said you're asking about networking?
Yes.
How do you establish networking?
Like how do you start those relationships?
You know what? Perfect example. Me and Judy. We were at a meeting together, and there was a vacant seat sitting next to her. And the guy said, there's a seat right there, sit right there. And she asked me, what do I do? And we just started talking back and forth. She didn't believe me when I first told me. She thought he ain't who you say he is. And she said, she Googled me. Oh, this guy's for real. And we called him. She asked me to go speak from one place. I did, and here I am today. So that's how you network. That's how you network. Networking, you can't always have your hand out all the time. Sometimes you got to volunteer or take less money for what you do to show people what you can do. That's why I say, Go with people that are hungry, not ones that are broke. Okay? Go with the hungry, not the broke. Okay? Me and Dre and them used to share pastrami sandwiches. There's a spot not far from my house. We would get one pastrami sandwich and cut it up into 4 pieces, get 4 sodas. Get 4 sodas, and that's what we ate. Or a bucket of chicken, an 8-piece. Everybody had 2. I got the big piece though. I bought it. Yes, you got a question?
I was just wondering if you were talking about how, like if you were good at one thing and someone else brought something to you that was like, oh, I could vamp this or I can make it better. But then, like, have you ever experienced where someone was like, oh, I like what he has going, but then like tried to play you on that?
Oh yeah.
Like, how do you tighten up your circle and do that with gifts and all that?
You know, sometimes it takes a little time to figure out people's motivation for helping you. And when you're dealing with that, because a lot of times, if you listen to people, they'll tell you eventually. If you listen long enough, you got to be listening. You have to be listening to hear where they're coming from. And when they try to play you sometimes, I give them one. Oh, gotta go. Okay? And depending on who it is, he might get 2, because sometimes it can be a misunderstanding. And that's why I say texting is not the way to communicate. Because autocorrect will get you in trouble. When you want to communicate, if there's an issue, don't text it. Talk to the person. Feel what they're saying. Now, you hear what I said? Feel what they're saying. Not just hear. Feel what they're saying so that you can really evaluate what their intentions are, because it could be a simple misunderstanding. And a lot of times, at the club, being in the club, I've seen guys break out into fights because nobody wanted to back down. What's up, man? What's up with you? What's up with you? What you want to do? What you want to do? Come on. What? Are y'all ready for the fight? Yes. I've seen it happen too many times. Women, oh, y'all got it worse. She thinks she cute. I am. Don't be cute in the bathroom. I got to go sit my female guard in the bathroom. I've seen, simple. It don't make no sense. Somebody else had a question? Yes.
Being an entrepreneur, it means taking risks. And so you had a child when you were very young.
Yes.
Did you ever experience a time where you were financially not stable?
Heck yeah!
How did you overcome that?
She asked however, hit a time that I was financially unstable. Yes. But you know who I went to? I went right here. Figure out what your assets are. Don't worry about what you don't have. What do you have? What do you have? You asked me about my podcast studio. I was thinking about that after I left the club. What am I going to do? I got this big old room back here. I got a bunch of cables. I got lights. I have a computer. I paid my cable bill this month. I'm good with Spectrum. So I can go online. Because when I would do all these podcasts, some of these guys had real elaborate studios, and some of them just had a laptop with a microphone on it. And some of the ones with laptops and microphones had more followers than the ones with the elaborate studios. But when I found out the difference in the two, the ones with the elaborate microphones, they were hungry and they were consistent. And when it comes to podcasting, consistency is the key. If you say you're going to be on there every Tuesday, you need to be on there every Tuesday. Okay? Because people are looking for you. You'd be surprised who's looking for you. I also found out it's important that you, when they reply, hey, if they give you a compliment, thank you. All those are part of the algorithms that work in your favor. So once you start doing these type of things and you stay consistent, you'd be surprised. Now getting back to the money, it took me a long time to figure out the money. I got $100 grand. I went shopping every time I thought about it. I had $100 grand at 25 years old. And it was bothering me to have this money because where I lived at, true story. Sherm was the drug of choice in the early 80s. Before y'all know about Sherm. Before crack came around, there was a drug called Sherm. Sherm was phencyclidine, and it was all over my neighborhood. And the guys who smoked the sherm, knew I was gone on Friday or Saturday nights. They break into my house, sometimes on Friday, sometimes on Saturday. They come out like they had keys, okay? And they always stole the same thing. They never found my stash. They found, I had a sparkless water bottle, the old glass ones. And because I had a teenage nightclub, a lot of kids paid me in change. I didn't want to take the change to the bank, so I just dump it in the sparkless water bottle. And they would steal the sparkless water bottle every time. Every time. That's all they ever stole. So at some point in time, I had to invest. I bought a house. I was able to buy my sister and brother out of my mom's house. My mom had passed. My dad owned the house. So I bought her half of the house. And I wasn't a real estate investor, but I put my money someplace I knew was going to be secure. And that was in real estate, okay? And I bought a couple of cars and got a Jerry curl and did a lot of dumb stuff. I enjoyed myself, okay? I enjoyed myself. And I don't regret anything I've ever done. I wish I could have done something different. Not so much regret, but could have did some things with a little less over the top. But that's the beauty of being young. You get to make mistakes, and you get to recover from them. I can't make them like I don't have time for them now. It's we in the third quarter. I got to get a W. Somebody else had a question. Yes.
How do we get your book?
Beg pardon?
How do we get your book?
Amazon.com or my website, AlonzoWilliams.com. But I'm gonna advise anybody, if you really want to enjoy the book, if you like audiobooks, it's on CD Baby, cdbaby.com, not without Alonzo. It's set to music. I couldn't put it on Amazon because Amazon does not allow music on the book, audiobooks. So I created some original tracks, used some of my own music, and I put it on CD Baby, cdbaby.com, not without Alonzo, and it'll come up, and I think it's like $10, but I think you'll enjoy it a lot better, especially if you like audiobooks. I love audiobooks. Speaking of not inventing the wheel, but putting some rims on it, I love audiobooks. But audiobooks can be some of the most boring things in the world. They on Audible, so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm at the gym, I'm about to fall asleep on the treadmill because this guy he's monotone. And it has no fire to it. So when I made my audiobook, I said, I'm not making a sleepy audiobook. I'm making an Alonzo version of audiobook. So that's why I did it myself. I put music to it, so you can work out on it. I got a lot of good reviews from the audiobook. So that's the difference. That's what I mean by saying, I say, you ain't got to reinvent the wheel, just put some rims on it. I put some rims on it. Okay, somebody else had a question? Yes.
So I know I've been since I was small, DJing and everything, and myself as a personality DJing with my cousin, but I want to do more like as a songwriter. How did you find your passion to do what you do now?
When you play it, how I found my passion, it's like anything else. If you're a football coach, a football player, and you love football, when your time is up on the field, you may become an assistant coach. When you're a basketball player, same thing. Your knees give out, you start coaching. And it's the same thing I do now. I realize that there's not a lot of people in my position when it comes to hip-hop. Hip-hop has no forefathers other than myself and a few other guys, especially West Coast hip-hop. I'm the only one that really talks. Anybody else that come to West Coast hip-hop is going to cuss you out. They can't do what I do. Snoop just it's a big article about Snoop right now. He did a show up in Kansas City. He brought strippers and a money pole, and they having a fit. And he did the X-rated versions of his songs. Now, if you go to my podcast, I'm not the same dude, okay? I got a real dude podcast, okay? I use words that would get me kicked off this campus. But I know I got enough sense, I can't use them words in this campus. But on my podcast, we're going to have a good time. Okay? So understand that. Understand that. There's a time and place for everything. And I think that's one thing that hip-hop, and no offense to y'all, some of y'all haven't quite got that yet. You know, these things right here are the most powerful things known to man. Okay? They can get you food, get you a ride, and get you a case too. Okay? You get you killed. Get you killed. And there's no etiquette for cell phones yet. People are trying to, mom and dad at the dinner table. No cell phones at the dinner table. Okay, but fine. There's no universal etiquette yet. True story. My son and I were at a light. Lady was crossing the street on a cell phone. Guy made a left turn. He missed her by this much. She never looked up. She never looked up. The guy, as he passed her by, I think it was a truck or something blocking him. It was some kind of something in his blocking him. I was paying more attention to her. So I'm like, oh, look up. And the guy made the left turn right in front of her, and she never looked up. The guy passed me up. He's like, oh, I'm like, yeah. And she could have got killed and never know why she was dead. Just wake up one day, hey, what happened? I was on Facebook. So these things right here, if used properly, can make you a lot of money. I know I got some app designers in here. I know I have some creative people in here. If used properly, you can be an entrepreneur right from this phone right here. But you have to be on the right programs. You can't be playing Fortnite and expect to get no money, okay? Notice we got some professional gamers in here. Professional gamers? Ooh, okay, good. All right. Yes.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
I love to inspire people and I love music and all that stuff. But I was wondering, like, how would you get started with like motivational speaking and what you're doing now? Because I think that's a great thing to be able to speak to people about your life.
Start talking. First thing I did, I joined Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters. Toastmasters has helped me to do this confidently. It costs you about $45 every 6 months. You may have a class on campus. I don't know. But a lot of colleges have Toastmasters classes. And once you learn, get the confidence up and tell a story that you feel confident with. If you ask me about engineering, I'm going to have to sit down. But you're talking about hip hop, I got you all day long. Okay? So find something that you're passionate about. Because the passion is probably the most important part of public speaking. If you really feel passionate about what you're talking about, you can go on and on and on, not be boring, not be redundant. And that's very important when you're talking to people, keeping people's attention. Okay? Toastmasters, start right there. Yes, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Does it also count like also with music, the same thing as how she does?
Say it a little bit louder.
Does it also count as also with music and making music, doing music as well?
Start doing music. Start doing it. Look, I'm like Nike. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. You'll never, all that trying to figure out, is the water too hot? Is it too cold? Jump in the pool. You figure out if it's cold or not. It might not, you jump in the pool, thought it was cold, you got in the pool, that's warm, okay? It ain't that cold. So when you do it, don't wait about it, don't talk about it. If you talk about it to the wrong people, they're going to discourage you. If you talk about it to the wrong people, they're not going to tell you what you want to hear. If you wait for somebody to co-sign you in the very beginning, could you imagine a skinny kid with a lisp want to be a DJ? He can't play no instruments, be the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. People that I knew me from elementary school, like, you did, that's you? Yeah. No, yeah, that's me. What about it? What about it? Oh man, I didn't know. No, you didn't, because you didn't think I could. So when you talk to the wrong people, expect them to throw water on your flame. Then leave them alone, though. But you know now, leave them alone. Go someplace else. Find you some more support. Because the person that you may least think would give you your support, be the biggest supporter. I didn't know Judy was going to support me on this. I had no idea. We just sitting there talking. I said, Judy, who is she from? Oh, she said, okay, cool. Whatever. And here we are today. You don't know. If you knew, you'd have a crystal ball, or you had lottery tickets, you wouldn't be in class. You don't know. So you got to try every door, turn every door, every chance you go to the door, when the opportunity knocks, who is it? Okay? See who it is. It might be Ed McMahon with that big ass check, big check. Yes, dear.
So I have a nephew, and he is an aspiring writer. He just told me and my fiance that she wants to go full time, like into music, dive into it, even like go to college if he needs to for it. The only thing is
Is he any good, first of all?
Yes.
Is he very good or just now, is he auntie good or is he everybody good? There's two kind of goods, huh?
It's good. Like, it's not like simple or deep.
How old is he?
He is 16, 17.
So he's still in high school.
Yes.
Right now, find him a buddy that can do videos for him.
Okay.
Get him on YouTube, get him on Spotify, get him on the various platforms for music, and see what kind of following he can get. In a year or so, and I'm not saying just give it a year and abandon it, but see what kind of traction. Tell him he got to get some kind of traction. Because right now, kids is coming out the womb singing and rapping, okay? Bottle in one hand, mic in the other. So he got to start as soon as he possibly can. Okay? Somebody else had a question. Yes. I'm sorry.
Actually, I still want to touch up on your actual business. So you said you have a podcast, and you still you're nonprofit. You said your goals are trying to maybe create maybe a more clean or more or develop a sort of leadership role within the hip hop community.
Yes.
But what else would you do with your nonprofit as far as like the community goes, or is it just so focused on the direction?
Like I said before, I'm a prostate cancer survivor. I'm always volunteering for the American Cancer Society. I just did an event with them on Tuesday. What else do I do? I also work with the County of Los Angeles Probation Department. I do so much I forget sometimes. Thank you for reminding me. I do the same. What I'm doing right now, I work with probationers. A lot of guys come out of jail. They got felonies. They might not be able to get a job at the bank. So I give them ideas on how to establish themselves and become an entrepreneur. It takes a little time, but you got to be consistent. Like the key word here today is consistent. If you over here one day, I'm gonna be a baseball player, be a football player, be a rapper, be a model. No, you ain't that cute anyway. So be consistent in wherever you are. Think big. If you think big enough and you don't achieve where you want, if you fall down here, you're all right. You're all right. Okay? Next big thing is don't get caught up in the fads. Fads will kill you. How many of you got them $1,100 iPhones? Smart kids. Smart students, okay? Corporate America keeps you spending your money. You got to have a new phone every 6 months. Why? The old one still work. Because they got a new 4K camera. You only take pictures in 1080p anyway. What difference do it make? You can't do nothing with the footage. If you took it in 4K, you still can't edit it. So you have to understand that, how many pair of Jordans you got? 40. You only got 2 pair of feet. You got 2 shoes, 2 feet. So understand economics, especially when you're an entrepreneur. I reinvest. Now I have some toys now, don't get me wrong. Most of my toys are related to what I do. Me and Amazon my house all the time, but it's always something that's related to what I'm doing. That's what I do. So when you're doing your thing, try not to be too elaborate and be conservative with your money. Be a little smart. Find you a niche that works for you and work it. Okay? And like my buddy's grandfather said something, if you want to kill time, work it to death. If you want to kill time, work it to death. Okay? Find something that people need, and they'll always need you. 1979, they needed a teen nightclub on Avalon Segundo. I took it to them. 1983, they needed a record company. I took it to them. 1986, we needed an independent record company to distribute our records. I took it to them. 2013, they needed a book about West Coast hip hop. I brought it to them. So do what you do. Don't worry about nobody else's lane. Get in your own lane. Why you're on the freeway and you in traffic right there in the fast lane, think you in the fast lane, but it's the slowest. But over here in the diamond lane, everybody just flying by. Think of yourself as being in the diamond lane. Find a lane ain't nobody in, especially if you're an artist. Everybody wants to be a trap rapper. Why? They don't even speak English. At some point in time, tattoos on your face is going to be out of style. Okay? You don't have to be a gangbanger to be a rapper. Tekashi 69. You don't have to be a gangbanger. You got rappers that are retroactively joining gangs after they made money. Talking about a special kind of stupid. Is there a class anywhere at Cerritos to teach that kind of stupid? You have to take a class in stupidity to want to be a rapper, a gang member, after you are already a millionaire. But they do it all. Chris Brown did it. Chris Brown was on his way to be the next Michael Jackson. He got tatted up. He was in Tyler Perry movies. Now he went and got tatted up. Now he claiming to be a blood. Now you don't see him nowhere but on TMZ. You only see him on TMZ. Tekashi 69, he wasn't even trying to be a rapper. He was selling insurance. Oh, you're a good-looking dude. You can be a rapper. You think so? Yeah, come on in. Start drawing on his face, mouth like he eating chiclets, hair look like he got a doll wig on, and it became a blood. And these guys, anybody follow this story? This guy was making $250,000 per show, and they were giving him 30. Giving this guy 30 grand out of $250,000. But he thought they were his buddies. Now he's on trial, telling on everybody. Everybody. After they kidnapped him, they slept with his girlfriend. All these things happened, and what's really crazy, people think there's supposed to be some loyalty to these guys. That's another subject. I don't want to get in there. We don't take. Anyway, yes.
We probably just have time for one or two more questions.
Okay. How you want to do the book?
Maybe you have some three questions. Who may know the answer may win a book, which Alonzo will autograph for you.
Okay. I need some help. That one right there. Let's see. I wonder if this right here can give us any. All right. Quick question. Here we go. Right here. Here we are. Jerry curl. Ultra wave. Jerry curl. Is my hair real or fake? Simple question. Somebody. Who said fake? Give it right there. I had a weave. This here was sewed on the back of my head. I couldn't grow it fast enough for the photo shoot. I had my girlfriend give me a weft and give me a couple of stitches. I bought some of that cheap hair, that nylon hair. It might have been dog hair, because this sure wasn't happy, boy. And I did it for the photo shoot. I tried to keep it in for a while, but it looked good. I looked very, I don't know what word you want to call, but it gave me the look I wanted. But no, it was not real. Okay. What else we got here? What else could we do here? Let me see here. What can we do? That's me. That's too old. Let me see here. Let's have a little fun right quick. That's Unknown DJ. That's me. That's Rudy Pardee. Anybody know who this is right here in the blue? Who said Egyptian Lover? That's it. Give it to him right there. All right. Give him a round of applause for both of them, y'all. All right. We got time for a couple more questions. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Just one more quick question. So, you were talking about there was a class that you took that helped you with the podcast.
Yes.
And would that class help you with doing YouTube?
Yeah. It's all the same thing. All the same thing. It actually right now it's online. It's if you, I give you my email, my number. You give me a call. I give you the information. I don't know it offhand, but it's every Wednesday from 6 from 5:30 to 7:30. It's online, and they have a location in LA as well. So they do it live as well. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What's the biggest pro? What's the biggest con of an independent record?
The biggest pro, you make all the money. Biggest con, the artist always mad at you. You'll never hear an artist say how much they love their record company, because the record business is not designed for love. It's called the record business. The record business, entertainment business. So while you singing and dancing, somebody else is taking care of the business. And if you don't learn the business, you're going to be singing and dancing for the rest of your life with no money. Okay? So you have to understand the business part. The business part can be probably the most, because as a company, you have to put safeguards in the contract to keep you solvent. Okay? And back then, we had to do what they call reserve. We had to hold so much money back from the artist. You release it after a certain point in time. Then you got returns. You had physical product. The records would come back to the warehouse, so you got to pay for the manufacturing. Even though they sit in the warehouse, you thought you was going to sell them. They didn't sell. So those type of things were the drawbacks. But over time, once you understood the game, you were able to sell those records. Again, they already paid for. And it gave me a catalog that I didn't know I had coming. So it's just a matter of what part are you going to be. Because I was one of those rare dudes that actually did both sides, the music and the business. But most cats, not saying I'm a genius, but it could be a little strenuous. Okay? One more. Yes?
My question is, when I know that you said something about like building a team. Do you have any tips on how to get your team started or how to build a team?
Start doing what you're going to do. And so ask somebody, come with you. Hey, man, what you doing, girl? Come on, come ride with me. Now, she may say, okay, good. Then she may help you and start doing stuff for you. As y'all roll around, you give her a little something if you're making money. If you're not, take her to eat, okay? Just show her some love, and y'all can build a team like that. My cousin rode me till he died. That's what he did. We got a gig, yeah, man. He just loved to hang out and watch me DJ because he knew if we were DJing, he was going to be some girls around. So that was his pay, okay? Yes.
Omi?
Yeah.
So how do you stay balanced and organized, especially doing so many different projects, or when you were like working the 2 jobs and everything?
This right here. This is my secretary, my best friend. I love her to death. Without her, I can't function. And habit. As soon as somebody gives me an appointment, I stop what I'm doing, put it right now. As soon as you tell me something, you want me someplace, I put it in now and put a reminder on it. All my bills are here, so my credit is good because I ain't missed no payments. So you use these things to your advantage. That's what I do. Yes.
Knowing everything you know now, what game would you teach yourself about the game?
What game would I teach myself about the game? Buy more real estate and diversify. Because back then, diversification was not a big deal for us. Okay, Prince never had a clothing deal. You know, Michael Jackson didn't have it. He had no kind of deals. But now everybody got a shoe deal or clothing deal, a cologne deal, perfume deal. So the diversification, and that's what I'm doing right now. Same thing here. I'm working on a comic book. I have my book out. I have a comic book out. So all these things I'm doing to diversify, because as a person, as an entrepreneur, you have to have multiple streams of income. If you have one stream of income, you're probably looking to be at the discretion of wherever that money comes from. As an entrepreneur, I do speaking engagements. I get royalties. I do my job with the county, my little business with the county. I DJ on the weekends because I still love it. I don't do it every night, but I still love it. So you have to have multiple streams of income. Okay? Anybody? That's it?
Why don't we give him a hand?
Thank you, folks.